Hello everyone, I'm Christopher Rogers, and this is the Amateur Fishing Project. I'm getting a little bit of a late start this morning, so I'm going to be multitasking while I record this. If you've read the description for this video, you already know that what I'm going to be covering today is going to be spring spinnerbait fishing. Now, I'm one of those people who fishes spinnerbaits all year long. And the reason I have categorized this as spring spinnerbait fishing is because the techniques that I use them in will change by the season. So I'm just going to focus on spring fishing for this video and show you some of the techniques that I use that will hopefully help some of you put fish on your boat. Now, spinnerbaits is a very wide category of lures. You've got inline spinnerbaits, you got top spinners, bottom spinners, hard bodies, but for this video, I'm just going to focus on the classic skirted bass spinnerbait. And this is one of the baits that I'll be using today because it has a threadfin shad pattern, which I'll get back to in a second. But it's also overcast today, and I like using a gold blade in overcast situations. I don't go too deeply into brands on this video because this spinnerbait is a good example of why. This is actually an Excalibur spinnerbait. It's one of my favorites, but unfortunately this lure is no longer manufactured, so it wouldn't matter if I told you what kind of spinnerbait it was or not. And I know fishermen are pretty brand loyal. But if you're just getting started and you're needing a starting spot to select your spinnerbait from, a good place to start is with natural forage patterns. And this water that I'm fishing in today, I know that there's an abundance of threadfin shad in this lake, so that's why I have selected this specific lure to use. But I'll be using several over the course of the day. This is another lure that I'm going to be using. It's a multi-spinner lure. It mimics a school of shad and has the same principle as an Alabama rig. And if you're not familiar with what an Alabama rig is, go ask the Google, because as I will keep telling you people, the Google knows everything. So if there's something you want information on, it is a great resource for you. So let me get a couple of spinnerbaits tied on and get the boat launched, and then I will pick this back up when I get out on the water, which in video editing time is going to happen that fast. So I just shut down the main motor and pulling up to this shoreline right here. There's a lot of aquatic grass, hydrilla and coontail along this shoreline. I'm going to work this shoreline down to this main lake point, and then this point circles around into a pretty little cove back here. So I'm just going to work my way all the way back to the boat ramp. Really, I would have gone on down the lake a little further, but I'm going to be joined later this morning by my buddy Mark, who couldn't make it out here first thing in the morning. So as I said, I'm going to work down this shoreline down to this main lake point. I'm going to let the wind just push me down here. The wind is going to be a factor throughout the entire day. It could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour later. And the spinnerbait that I'm starting off with is the one I showed you when I was going through the introduction. Is this thread fin shad pattern. Right now I'm just doing a steady retrieve over the top of the grass. There's a good drop off here. I'm in 12 feet of water and the shoreline is about 20 yards away. So for this lake, this is a shallow lake. For this lake, that's a good drop off. The water out here is about 3 degrees cooler than it was at this point last week. There you go. There's a little fish. All right, first little fish of the day. Look how clear that water is. Look how pretty that is. Come here, buddy. Nothing but trailer hook right there. All right. Let's get you free here. Okay. All right. When I say little bass, I mean little bass. But look how beautiful the color is on that thing in this clear water with vegetation. That's a beautiful little fish. So when I caught that first fish, like I said, I wasn't imparting any special action into this lure. I was just using a slow, steady retrieve, just bringing it over the top of the grass. All right, when you're working a spinnerbait, you want to make sure it's clean of all vegetation. Even the slightest little piece of grass can prevent it from drawing a strike. Unfortunately, I see too many people slapping their lures on the surface of the water to remove vegetation, which is something that I hope none of you will ever do, because it will spook the fish. It's an unnatural sound to them. And whatever type of fish you're targeting, you want those fish to feel as comfortable in their surroundings as they typically feel. You don't want to give them any reason to be on guard. Fish are not smart. Fish are instinctive. And when their instincts tell them that something is out of the ordinary, their instinctual response is to be cautious. And the likelihood of them hitting a lure when they're cautious is a lot more likely than when they're comfortable in their surroundings. So after every cast, you know, I check my lure, check my spinnerbait, make sure there's no grass on it, and I don't ever slap it on the surface of the water if there is. I don't know if y'all can hear all those barking dogs, but there is a puppy farm right up on top of that hill back there. They breed puppies, so that's what you're hearing in the background, are all those puppies waking up for the day. And as much as everybody loves puppies, I think that would drive me up the wall. As a matter of fact, I know it would. So I'm still using a slow, steady retrieve. Just pulling my spinnerbait right over the top of that grass. Trying to entice a bass to come up out of that grass and latch onto it. There you go, right there at the boat. Right there at the boat. And that's a crappie. Well, that's something I wasn't targeting. Look at that crappie there. Not a great crappie either, just an aggressive crappie. Thank you. You know, usually when I go fishing, even if I'm bass fishing, I carry at least one crappie rod with me. But wouldn't you know it, today, I didn't. I don't have the first piece of crappie tackle with me, but as you just saw, an aggressive crappie will hit a spinnerbait. I've caught countless numbers of crappie on lures intended to catch bass, and vice versa. Caught plenty of bass on lures intended to catch crappie. The ambient temperature right now is very pleasant. It's probably in the mid-60s, but we do have a cold front coming in today. There's a 50% chance of rain. And later on, the wind's going to be coming direct out of the north, gusting up to 25 miles an hour. All right, so I just took a little break, went and picked up my fishing partner for the day. Mark, welcome back to the Amateur Fishing Project.
Coming at it.
Ready to throw some spinnerbaits. As I told him, he hadn't missed much yet. So now I'm throwing a spinnerbait with a little different blade configuration that should help the spinnerbait gain some lift as I retrieve it. Keep it above the top of the grass.
What did you do to it?
No, I had on a different spinnerbait.
Oh. Well, I'm going with a little chartreuse with a craw tail.
Let's see what you're throwing there.
Double blade chartreuse.
Chartreuse with a craw tail.
Yeah.
Interesting combination.
Yeah. I want to give it a whirl.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
I did at the dock.
Chartreuse craw tail is what
Something that I've never thrown before.
I've never seen it thrown before.
I'm not going to commit to it very long.
There's a fish. There's a little fish right there. Is that another crappie? Look at the size of that crappie. This is right where I caught that other crappie.
You turn the live well on.
Oh! Broke it. Broke it.
There it is, just jumped up.
Ah! Oh, that was the best strike I'd had all day.
What pound test?
12. Well, take some time to retie.
There he is. He just threw it out.
I just saw that. I hope I got that recorded. There you go. That's a nice one. Is that on your frog spinnerbait? Should have lipped it. You should have lipped that fish.
I'm not too worried about it. Save me from having to get down there.
Make him feel good about himself. Oh, there you go.
There he is.
That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Bring him in. Big stay out there.
That's
Oh, that's a nice one.
That is a nice one. All right, come here, buddy. Get that net. Yeah.
I'm already on it, though.
Okay. Okay. All right. Coming back to you. Nope. Yep.
Oh, come on.
You got him, buddy.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good spinnerbait bass right there.
Yeah. Good fish.
You know what? I'm gonna put this in my live well and take some pictures with it. All right, let's put this beautiful fish back in the lake.
Get bigger, buddy.
Isn't that a pretty fish right there? Nice fish. Thank you for that, buddy. Thank you. There you go. There's a fish. That's a decent one. Yeah. Like the chartreuse. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Just let him wear down a little bit. Come here, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice, healthy fish. He was out in 4 feet.
Good surprise. Good one.
All right.
You had just come across that blue here.
All right. Nice, healthy fish. Thank you for that, buddy. Thank you for that. All right, so when I caught that fish, I was using this chartreuse and white spinnerbait because, like I said, the water's a little dingier up in this creek, and I was fishing out away from the shore, out in about 4 feet of water, still over the grass. And one thing, you know, we hadn't caught a lot of fish today, but I don't know about you, but the fish I have caught, they've been smashing it. There hadn't been anything tentative about them at all. Should be fish right there. There he is. Oh gosh, did I get him? He came back for it. I don't have him good. I don't have him good, but he came back. No. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Well, I got the trifecta today.
You really do. Good catfish.
Yeah, a little sunfish right there. Look how pretty that thing is. There you go. All right. I knew with all the bait fish in this area, I knew there had to be some bass here. All right, you come here, little buddy. Heck yeah. All right, another nice little fish. Let's let him out on the sunside. All right. Yeah, there you go. There's a bass. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, diligence. Let's see if I can land this thing now. All right. Let's see here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Yep. Gosh, dog it. Hell, how about that? Okay. All right. Another pretty fish. So, there you go. I was using my white spinnerbait, throwing it up right in front of this old pier here. That fish came out of about 2 feet of water. I was just using a slow, steady retrieve. What the? Well, that's something you don't see every day. Is he coming down here? All right, well, I'm calling that a successful day of spinnerbait fishing. I'll have to go back and watch the video to see how many we caught. Our catch to loss ratio was a heck of a lot better today than it was the last time we were on the water. So that makes me feel a little better. I fished a spinnerbait all day long, and if you were paying attention, I caught 3 different species of fish all on spinnerbaits today. So spinnerbaits will catch a wide variety of species. They're very easy to fish. Basically just cast and reel is all I was doing today. I didn't impart any special technique into the lures, and I didn't have to. So I hope that all of you have enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed creating it. If you have, please hit that like button for me, because hitting the like button is just a little something that you can do to help me continue sharing this with as many people as possible. And if you'd like to follow the Amateur Fishing Project, you can hit the subscribe button, and that way you won't miss out on any of the videos that I have upcoming. So until I have the opportunity to share this with you again, wherever you may be, stay safe.